Hey, y'all, come on in. Trying to get this. I hate Facebook. I do. So if y'all saw this movie, come on in. We're gonna talk about it. I look like I'm trying to fix my car. Anyway, forget it. I can't figure it out. It's not working. Let's see if I'm doing this the right way. I've had some issues with Facebook. Gets on my nerves. I've had some issues with them, so I'm just trying to figure out if I'm doing this the right way. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Maybe I did do it right. Let's see if I can share this. Maybe I might have something here. So anyway, y'all, we're going to talk about this movie. We're going to talk about this movie. I've had some issues with Facebook, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, what the heck? I hate Facebook. Oh, my goodness. I hate it. So I've been trying to figure out a way to use this and get it done the right way. So let me see if I got it going here. I don't know. So anyway, we're going to be talking tonight about this movie. It was Honk for G. It's called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls. Did y'all see that? So thank you. Shout out to my girlfriends, Joyce and Van, who took me out yesterday. And no, it was Saturday. They took me out Saturday, and we were able to go and see this movie. So I wanted to talk about it because it really was not what I thought it was going to be. So I just wanted to take a few minutes. What is going on with my camera? Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second, because this is annoying me right now. I can't. I got to get this right. I feel like I'm up in the wall somewhere. All right. I'm doing like a makeshift kind of thing tonight. So maybe I'll move back a little bit. So anyway, the movie was interesting, and for any of you who watch Jordan, is it Jordan Peele? Um, Give me 1 second, y'all, because let me check something on his Facebook page. My apologies. I'm just trying to work something out. Let me see. I'm trying to see if it'll actually work what I'm doing. But anyway, so the movie, some people when I first had heard about it, some people were saying that it was a movie about Bishop Eddie Long. Um, I don't know, like for those of you who may or may not know about the story about Bishop Eddie Long, he was the pastor at a church in Atlanta, and actually Jamal Bryant is there right now. Jamal Bryant is over his church, and so, it was a big scandal with Eddie Long, and supposedly now I'm gonna say what's the word they say, allegedly, allegedly, Bishop Eddie Long, his church is called New Birth in Atlanta. So, a mega church in Atlanta, and allegedly he was messing with um, little boys. And so that was the thing. And there were some pictures that came out that supposedly he had been having some sexual interactions and stuff with little boys. Now, I wasn't there, y'all, so I don't know if it was true or not. I'm just telling you what they said out in the news. That's what they were saying that happened. I don't know because I wasn't there. Um, but it was a picture of him holding his phone like this. And he, Bishop Eddie Long, he used to wear those shirts that was made him look really buff. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were turned off. Now, apparently, his parishioners was okay with it, but a lot of people were turned off with the fact that he always wore these shirts where he looked really buff and puffed, and everything was kind of fit. He looked like he worked out a lot. Shout out to him. He was working out, but he might have been working out doing something else too. I don't know because I wasn't there. But anyway, allegedly, that was the story behind Bishop Eddie Long. His wife Vanessa, at one point, she was just like over it, and she had decided that she was not going to be a participant in his shenanigans anymore, and so she decided to file for divorce. And and they separated for a little bit, and then as those women do, they go back, and she went back, and she decided to give Bishop Eddie Long another chance. So that's kind of the story behind them. And like I said, I don't know who doesn't know the story about him because it was big, and he was a big bishop. He was a big bishop. So anyway, this movie came out by Jordan Peele. And well, it wasn't by Jordan Peele. But let me see. Let me give you the right names because I'm saying something wrong. It wasn't by Jordan Peele, but the movie is called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Now, the producers of the movie, Jordan Peele was one of the executive producers. And if anybody has ever seen any of Jordan Peele's movies, Jordan Peele's movies are weird. They're like he did the movie Get Out. It was another movie. And the first one, and I can't think of the name of the other movie, but when my son told me about the movie, I was like, I don't know if I want to see that because it seemed like it was kind of, witchcraft, that kind of stuff, and I don't really look at that. But it wasn't. It was just his movies you have to follow and you have to read in between the lines with his movies because they're not always clear. And you don't get it right away with his movies. Sometimes you got to go back and you gotta look at it again. Let me put this thing in here. You gotta go back and look at his movies again because and I guess with him that's actually a gift because it makes people come back and you know I think it's really interesting because when you hear his name, and I'm sure that's what he wanted it to be, when you hear his name, there's a buzz, and you like, oh, Jordan Peele, so let me see what he's doing with this movie. So anyway, he's one of the executive producers. Sterling K. Howard. If any of you watched Sterling K. Howard, he was in a movie called, not a movie, he was, how could you to say so? He was in this really good show. Oh my goodness. Why can't I think of the name? Y'all, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm getting confused. Let me add this. What was that movie? Sterling K. Howard. Sterling K. Brown is his name. And Sterling K. Brown was like this actor. Like, I really didn't know Sterling K. Brown until he played in, what was that show? Somebody help me. I cannot think of the name of the show. It's going to come to me. This Is Us. This Is Us. So Sterling K. Howard was in This Is Us. And he was just so, like, I had never even seen him. I didn't know who he was. And he was just such, like, I loved him. I loved that show, really. I really loved that show, and I watched it all the time. And he was so good in it. He was just like this nice brother and husband and all of that. So anyway, he's 46 years old, from St. Louis, Missouri. Anybody want to know how tall he is? He's 6 feet tall, and apparently he's won Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. This Is Us. He went to Stanford University and all of that, and he's married. But he was in it, and Regina Hall is in it. Now, I like both of them. I love Regina Hall. I love her acting. I think she's funny. And then Adama Ebo, Adana, Adama, Adamma Ebo, and Adana Ebo, Daniel Kalua. They were the producers of the movie. And so I'm happy for Sterling K. Brown that he was actually one of the producers. Regina Hall, happy for her. But, and the director was Adama Ebo. I don't know who that is. The executive producers was Jordan Peele, Wynn Rosenfeld, Will Greenfield, Carolina Grappa. And so basically what the movie is about, it's called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. And it is definitely a comedy. There were some parts in there where they tried to make it, seem real or whatever, but it's definitely a comedy. And so the thing is, it was about a pastor and the pastor and his wife, and they really were um, caught up in a scandal. And this is why some people said it was about Bishop Eddie Long, which I kind of don't think that it was about Bishop Eddie Long. I really don't. What I think is that they took bits and pieces of the Eddie Long story and they put it into Honk for Jesus. That's what I feel, because there were some things in there that were exactly what happened to Bishop Eddie Long and when his wife was going to um, divorce him and all of that. So that was definitely in there. But it's about the pastor. Now, the pastor, his name is Lee Curtis Childs. And let me tell y'all, Lee Curtis Childs was the most perverted pastor I ever seen. He's a pervert. So this is not, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't really think it's kid friendly. Don't take your kids, because it's one scene in the movie where he be getting it in. Okay, he wants his wife to have do oral sex on him, and then he can't get an orgasm, so he has to, do what he has to do to get his orgasm. He has these sexual fantasies, and apparently he likes to mess with little boys. And so all of this is in the movie, and he's a pervert. Really, he's a pervert. He's a pastor, and he is a pervert. So um, that's the thing with him. Now, um, that was that one scene, and you see that the wife, she tries to be like this loving. I'm trying to see if I see her name here. I can't remember her name, but his name is Lee Curtis for sure. Lee Curtis Childs, and and it's a satire. And it pretty much like Jordan Peele, that's what his movies are. They're all satirical movies, and you got to really like get into it. You got to pay attention. And so what happened was because of the scandal, you see at the beginning of the movie, because of the scandal, there's a camera, there's a team of media team that's following him around, and they're actually the church has been closed because of the scandal, so they're actually following him around to see how he's going to be able to rebuild his church because apparently he had like 20 or 25,000 members at his church, and because of the scandal, everybody's gone, so he doesn't have any parishioners anymore. So as they go along in the movie and they follow along, it just shows you that he um, is doing everything. Like the thing about it, the thing about it is that you see clearly that something ain't right between him and First Lady. And the First Lady, she just giggles and laughs all the time. And she plays her part as being the loving, doting wife and, really being there for her husband. And she got her church hat on and her church clothes. And she's looking good and she's looking apart and all of that. And Pastor Lee Curtis, like I said, he is a pervert. Okay, he's just a pervert, and it was weird because I was used to seeing Sterling Brown playing in This Is Us, and he's just such a this nice little mild mannered guy. But now he's playing in this movie, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls, and so but he is definitely a pervert, and he loves sex. He got sexual issues, and he had the hidden secret is like that he likes to mess with boys, and so like I said, that's why I said if you take your kids, don't. I mean, if you go, don't take your kids. It's not for anybody like under 16. I wouldn't do it just because of certain parts in there. And so, anyway, the camera crew is following them. And if you didn't see the movie, then don't tune in. I'll just say this real quickly. I wouldn't go see it again because it didn't really do anything for me. I would give it like a thumbs down for me because it didn't really do anything for me. Um, and it just had a real stupid ending. But anyway, so I'm not going to give all of the movie away. Maybe I won't do that. I'll just tell you bits and pieces of how the movie flowed. But basically, um, like I said, the camera crew is following them, and they're basically trying to do this documentary of how Pastor is going to build his church back up. But in the process of building up his church, you get to see all of the reasons why his church was torn down, and then you get to see the conflicting uh, thoughts going across the wife's face like a ticker tape because she's trying to figure out, should I stay with him? Should I leave him? He's getting on my nerves. I want to hit him upside his head. You see all of this stuff going on in her. And then on top of that, um, she starts to hear that her husband has been doing some mischievous stuff with um, young men. And so that's why I think some people kept saying, oh, this is about Eddie Long. And as I said, it's not about Eddie Long. They just took bits and pieces of his story to bring you into the movie to look at it and to get the buzz, which everybody is buzzing about. But there were similar things that happened in Bishop Eddie Long's life that they did put into the movie. I don't know how they did that. Did they get permission? I'm not really sure. She said something. She made a comment. You guys will see that when you watch the movie. She made a comment that his wife actually made. So they took bits and pieces and put it in the movie. Overall, um, I didn't find the movie what I didn't know until we got to the movie. This was the thing. And thank you to my girlfriends again, Joyce and Van, for taking me out. We had a really good time on Saturday. But what I didn't know until we got to the theater, I think it was Joyce or Van, one of them said, this is on Peacock. So if y'all want to save some money and you had Peacock, you got cable, Peacock on your cable, go watch it on Peacock because I wouldn't spend no money on it. I'm gonna just put it out there. I wouldn't pay to go see it. I have Peacock, but even when I came home, like I didn't want to see it anymore because to me it just wasn't good. Like it wasn't. I love movies. I love a good movie, and I love going to the movies. But it wasn't. It was just kind of confusing, and the ending was horrible, horrible. I don't know if they did that ending because they want to do a part two. I'm not really sure what that ending was about, but it was horrible. Um, the statue, y'all will see the statue that they have in this movie. I don't know what the statue was about. I'm not. I don't. I think the statue was the pastor. It kind of looked like the pastor. I'm not really sure, but it was just like what I would say is watch it on Peacock. I hate to say that because I know Jordan and all of them are trying to make some money, but yeah, watch it on Peacock. It was. It said it received generally positive reviews from critics, um, but I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but I will give a shout out to Sterling K. Brown because he did a good job. Um, and she always like I love her whenever she's acting. Like she's somebody I would love to interview because she was good in it. Um, I'm trying to tell y'all stuff without like telling you everything about the movie. Um, but anyway, the reporters are coming along, and the reporters are just asking them a lot of questions. And at one point, First Lady, she gets kind of mad. And then you see them in their closet because the thing about the pastor, not only is he a pervert, but he's also like so self centered. He loves himself so much. So instead of like, you lost all of your members, Pastor. Like all of your members are gone, right? I think it was like 10 people left, and he was in there. And so at one point, they're doing I thought it was like the actual service. So they're doing the service, and they're recording and everything. And he said that him and his wife said something together to end the service. But when they said it, he said amen. She said amen. And he kind of looked at her like, and he was like, we got to do that again. Cut. We got to do that again. So everything with him was like an act. It was just, for show. And so they did the rerun, and then they still got it wrong. But she said, amen. He said, amen. But basically everything he did for the camera, supposedly it was to show people how he was redeeming himself from what happened, but it was really a show. That's all that it was. And then at one point they have this huge closet of clothes. I love that closet though. Clothes, shoes, all designer stuff, and they're just in their closets like, you wear this, you wear this, we're gonna change into this, we're gonna match, we're gonna be doing this. And so the focus was never really on like, how do we get back to God? How do we bring these people back to church? It was basically him, um, focused on himself, and he was perverted, and nothing about him ever changed. But his goal was to try to get the 25,000 people back. Now it was a couple at his church who, when everybody started leaving the church, this one couple, they decided they want to go and start their church. So they started their church, and a lot of people from the Pastor Curtis church, they went over to the new couple's church. And so then he started competing with them back and forth. So you'll get to see that. And they were fake too. They were trying not to be fake, but they were fake too. Like it was just funny watching it because, you know, nobody was really concerned about the members. Like I don't mean to say funny like that, but nobody was really concerned about the members. The young couple, they were concerned about building up their church and being that couple. And then you had Pastor Brown, who was just so concerned about his look and his designer stuff. And then he was telling his wife she had bought a hat for like $2,000, and he was telling her the hat didn't look right. You need to take the hat off because that's not gonna go well for us because you wearing a hat. And that was the one time she stood up to him and she told him, look, I'm not taking the hat off. Because throughout the whole movie, every time he said something, she's just laughing and giggling. And that was the other thing. That's why I said it's not real. Like some people have run with this and they've said it's a real movie. It's a real movie. It's about Bishop Eddie Long's life. No, it's not. When you actually look at the movie, they are making fun of how they think pastors' wives act with their husbands. So you see Regina Hall, she just every time her husband says something, she's giggling, she's laughing, and she's just like this doting wife, and she's looking at him like he's so wonderful and he's so great. And deep down inside, she knows that he has major issues. But when she comes out front, she made a comment that um, like she's always gonna be there for her husband. No matter what, no matter how you feel, I'm gonna always be here for my husband. So, but that's the thing about the movie. They were actually making fun of pastors, how they act, and how they're into their clothes. Just the very same things that you see people fussing and arguing about on YouTube about how pastors are this and pastors are that. They put it into a movie, and so you see the pastor where he's just like overdressed. He loves himself. He has a sexual addiction. He half crazy. He didn't really care nothing about his wife, the church. All he cared about was himself and getting his 25,000 members back. That's all he cared about. And so the movie, to me, it just kind of made fun of what people say about pastors, what people say about mega churches, and you know, it was different scenes that they were doing inside the church that didn't make no sense. Like after he finished preaching, at one point he took his shirt off. You got permission to sit on the front row. He took his shirt off. He had an undershirt on. He just took his shirt off. I said, "What the heck is he doing?" Then he took his pants off, and his wife was standing there next to him, and he went and got to the baptismal pool, and she baptized him. And I thought she had drowned him because he was under the water for a minute, and then he just jumped up and he's like hallelujah and all of that. So I just saw in the movie where they really, like I said, it was a satirical movie, and they just really made fun of pastors and how they function, and especially made fun of the pastors' wives. They just made the pastor's wife look really goofy. And because you hear a lot of people saying, like, when these pastors fall into their sins, people are always like, well, why is the wife standing there? Why is she standing there smiling? Why is she laughing like everything is okay? So in the movie, when all of this came out about him being with boys, having inappropriate contact with boys, you see his wife there, and they just played on it. They played on a part of her being this silly wife and doing everything that her husband wanted her to do. They were standing outside. She's holding a sign, and they're saying "Honk for Jesus," and they got a statue, and just any little silly thing he told her to do, she did it. And so it's just a movie. It's really not about Eddie Long's life. You will see some things in there that kind of mirror, what happened, unfortunately, in Bishop Long's life. You see those things, but it's not a documentary or a true story about Bishop Eddie Long. No, it's not. And I didn't know him personally, but I do know when I watch a movie whether or not they're making fun. And anything, I feel like anything that Jordan Peele is in, it's going to be a satire. It's going to be funny. It's going to be something. It's going to be weird. It's going to be where you have to like look at it a couple times and try to, kind of figure out where's he going with this, what's his point, what's he's trying to talk about. Because when the movie was over, Van and I, we were sitting there like, what? Like we were just sitting there trying to figure out, like, okay, what? Why did it end like that? Like, what was the purpose of the ending? I really wish I could talk to him, but again, I think that's who, how everybody creates a persona of, even with me, with my Lady J Media stuff. It's certain things that I do because I know I'm going to get people's attention, right? So with Jordan Peele, he does certain things. He has that knack where he can do movies and he can do them in such a way that you sit there and you kind of like, what? You know, but he captures your attention. So the movie is a little funny. Like I said, it's that one sex scene, y'all. So be careful if you take your kids, because the pastor, like I said, he's a pervert in the movie. And yeah, that one scene. So you'll be sitting there like, because the pastor be getting it in that one scene by himself, and his wife is laying beside him. And so, but you would have to see the scene to see what I'm talking about, because I don't want to give the whole thing away. But it was a real interesting movie. It's called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls. And again, please, for those of you who are saying that this is a documentary or movie about Bishop Eddie Long, it is not. Oh, Joyce said, yes, I had to watch it again. She said, she said, perversion. Yeah, so Joyce said, I had to watch it again. Perversion in the pulpit. Oh my goodness, yeah, he was a pervert, y'all. Definitely loved sex, but like I said, he didn't love sex with his wife, and that was very clear in the movie. And so at the end, you do see like his wife is fuming at the end, like she's had enough, and he had her out there looking stupid, like anything. And this is why I said in the movie, these producers of the movie, and Sterling K. Brown was one of the producers. This is why I was saying in the movie, it was about making fun. They were making fun of the pastors' wives and how they see them as being silly. And that one at the end of the movie, she has all of this white paint. You know how you see the praise dancers, and how they do this thing where they have the white paint all over their face, and she has that on her face, and he got her outside holding up a sign, "Honk for Jesus," and all of that. And but at the end, um, you really see her at the end. You see everything kind of coming to the forefront with her, and she's starting to realize like he ain't right, and I'm getting a little tired of it. And she walked off. I just wanted her to wash that stuff off her face, because the camera was, the camera crew was still there. But I think she was getting at the end. But again, you could still see that she, even though she was getting it, and she realized like this man is crazy. He got issues. He needs some help. You still can see that she's like, but I'm not gonna leave him. I gotta stick with him. And so that's why they were showing bits and pieces about the closet, where, I mean, this was an amazing closet with her stuff, his stuff, filled with all designer, color coordinated, everything. And were they in the church? I kind of felt like that closet was in the church. That's what I feel like, it was in the church. But I'm not really sure, because the church was so big. But then, y'all, when he took his clothes off, like I said, is he getting ready to go get one of the parishioners in the church? Because he was in the congregation, and he literally undressed in front of the congregation. And so, if I was one of his members, see, I would have got up, because that's too much for me. You doing too much. Because if he knew he wanted to get baptized, he should have had all of his stuff, including his baptismal robe. He should have had all of that stuff on. But oh, Joy said it was the church. Yeah, so they had the closet in the church. Y'all have to see this closet when you watch the movie now. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to have gone shopping in that closet. I probably could only get one of my legs in her outfits because she kind of, she kind of little. So I probably could only get a leg in one of them outfits. But she, they showed in the movie like how you go to these churches. I don't know if they're still doing it now post pandemic. I'm not sure because I don't pay attention a lot right now. But you know, you go to these churches and a lot of these people, these ladies have on hats that are just amazing. I see some of these hats. I'm like, where they get these hats from? Like, I was at a concert one time, and I'm not even lying, y'all. This lady's hat was so big in front of me. I couldn't see the pulpit, the singers. All I could see was her hat. I could not see. The hat was out here, out here like this. I could not see anybody. And so, they showed like she went to the store and they had the hat. Who pays 2,000 or something for a hat? Like maybe they do. I don't know. I don't really like hats like that. And I thought the hat was ugly anyway. I was with the pastor, like, you need to take that off. But I know he was saying take it off because he was saying that he wanted that particular day when they were having church, when they were reopening the church, he didn't want it to look like they were doing too much. So he had on a dark color. I think she had on a dark color suit, but she had this. It looked like a flying saucer hat. It was silver and bling, 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 bling. And he was just telling her it was too much, and she was like, "I ain't taking this off." She kept her hand on. That was the one time she stood up to him, but it was just parts in the movie that was funny. It was parts in there like I didn't get. Then y'all will see the part like the boy that's spinning around in the car. Like I didn't get that part. Um, and then the other thing, but this is real too. Just like they showed, just like they showed in that church, like and this is what I'm saying. Like they just kind of mimicked. They made fun of the church and the pastors. And the thing about it, oh yeah, they said "nuck if you buck." The movie, and that's why I said it had its funny parts. It really did. Like I laughed a little bit, but it's like even when you see like some of these churches where the pastors are not doing what they're supposed to do. Like they doing some really crazy and shady stuff, and you still see some people sitting up in there like they don't know what's going on. And so that's what they showed in the movie too. That even though the majority of his members left, it was still some people in there, and they were like, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be with my pastor. Like I'm gonna follow my pastor." And some of y'all gonna follow y'all pastor straight to hell. Y'all gonna be right in that fire, burning up with the pastor because y'all following the pastor. And you know something wrong with them because they was sitting up in the congregation looking at well, maybe he undressed in front of them before because some of them didn't look like they were surprised. So they was just sitting there, I guess, I don't know. And that was all a part of the documentary to hype it up. Like he caught the spirit. But I'm gonna tell you what, yeah, that's right, Joyce. From 25,000 or five people. But I'm gonna tell you what, if I'm at a church and my pastor catch the Holy Ghost and he taking his clothes off, I'm getting the heck up out of there. You're gonna be undressing by yourself because that ain't the show that I came to see. And I don't want to see you with your clothes off. And so the fact that they was just sitting there, they was looking at him, and he was the thing about it, he was still preaching. He was preaching. So in my mind, I was thinking like, is this an illustration? But what he was talking about didn't make sense with him taking his clothes off. So I'm like, what the heck is he doing? And took stripped down to his underwear. He was still preaching. I said, now come on, Holy Spirit. Come on, Holy Spirit. You got the Holy Spirit like that. When you taking all your clothes off in front of the congregation to the point he got happy off of his sermon and undressed and took his clothes off and got in the baptismal pool. I thought he was trying to bring the members back, but he got so excited about his own sermon, he jumped in the baptismal pool. So it was just a really, like I said, it was a funny movie. Don't take it seriously because it's not anything in there. And the thing about it, let me just say this too. The Eddie Long story is so sad because Bishop Eddie Long actually had a huge following. He had churches in other countries. He had another church, I think, somewhere down in Atlanta, had a lot of followers, a lot of prestige. a lot of power, like a lot of people, a lot of big people, I'm talking about president, a lot of big people knew Bishop Eddie Long. But allegedly, he liked the boys. And so, that's what took him down. And it was so sad because um, sometimes I would tune in, but I would mainly tune. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be totally honest. I would tune in and look at Bishop Eddie Long because at that time back then, I used to work out a lot and I used to do weight training, and so he would sometimes be on Facebook or Instagram, one of them. But he would show himself working out and doing the different weights and stuff. So a lot of times I would tune in to see Bishop Eddie Long because you could just see the transformation of his body. And he was not a young man, but he was in good shape. And so you could see the transformation of his body, his muscle tone. I'm a muscle tone person. And so that's why I would tune in and watch Bishop Eddie Long. Didn't really pay attention to his wife or anything like that. But it was sad to see him as time went on, and then, like I said, his wife Vanessa was going to divorce him, but then she changed her mind, and she stayed with him. Wonder what she doing right now? Because she probably looking at this movie too, and just like, you know, shaking her head. Because like, here we go again. He can't even rest in peace. Y'all done brought all of this up. But he dwindled down to nothing. Like Bishop Eddie Long dwindled down. Like he had cancer. That's what it was, and I forgot what kind of cancer it was. I don't know if it's prostate. I'm not really sure, but he had some kind of cancer, and it just really took him out so fast. And at one point, he was sick as could be, was still lying from the pulpit because they were asking him, his parishioners, the media, people was asking him, Bishop Long, are you okay? What's wrong? Why he said he was on a health food diet. Bishop Eddie Long, rest in peace. He was lying, still lying, and turned around and kept preaching. And at that point in time, he was diagnosed with cancer, and the cancer was just really like eating his body up. Like he went from being muscular and buff to just being like a skeletal frame, just so little. And it was so sad. And in the midst of all of that, like his poor wife is dealing with the scandal, the courts, the settlements, him being sick, the congregation leaving, people that used to be their friends and in their corner, they're walking away. That poor woman was dealing with so much. It's a shame. It's a shame. So I really don't believe that Miss Vanessa or Lady Vanessa, I don't believe that she would tell Jordan Peele, go make a story about my husband and, make it a satire and all of that. I don't see that. And his son, his children, definitely, I've watched them on interviews. They love their dad and they wouldn't do that. And so people just need to stop saying that it's a story about Bishop Eddie Long because it's not. It's bits and pieces that they took from Bishop Long's story. And Bishop Long ain't the only pastor out there that's messing with boys. There's some other pastors out there too. Y'all go on YouTube, you see these pastors doing all kinds of everything out here. So they just took bits and pieces. And I guess because Bishop Long was a huge figure, people are like, it's about Bishop Eddie Long, but I promise you, if you go look at this guy, his show is called Dawson Speaks. He comes on YouTube. If you go on Dawson's channel, all he does is talk about scandalous pastors. So Bishop Eddie Long was, believe me, he's not the only one out there who had this black mark on him about um, being a cheater and that kind of thing. And apparently he wasn't cheating with men. He was cheating with teenagers. And so, you know, yeah, when you see it, just know that it's not a documentary on him because when we went there, I assumed that it was about Bishop Eddie Long until I sat down And you got to Google everything. And when I Googled, and as soon as I seen Jordan Peele, I said, this ain't about no Bishop Eddie Long. Because Jordan Peele, when he started putting stuff together, putting bits and pieces of stuff together, sometimes it don't make sense. Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes it's just weird. And that's what that movie was. So the movie's called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls. It's in the theaters. I'm gonna tell you, honk for Jesus and save your money. Go watch it on Peacock, because I would not pay to go and see it. I would actually go in my room and turn on my cable and turn on Peacock and watch it on Peacock. So that way, when you get tired of looking at it because it ain't make no sense, you can turn it off and go watch something else. Because some of you may sit through it and watch it. I think had I not been at the movies with my girlfriends, I probably would have. Me, I'm a worker bee, so I'm always working and doing stuff, or I'm reading on how to do stuff. So if I was at home watching it on Peacock, I would have lost interest very quick, and I would have went off doing my work or doing something else. I know me. I would not have sat through it because it wasn't all of that. But being with my girlfriends, being with them, it was fun. Joyce had this big bag of popcorn. I was sitting there like eating the popcorn and just watching it. And it was nice being back in the theater, because I have not been in a movie theater. Oh my goodness, it's been a while, and I used to go to the movies all the time by myself because I love movies, but I love a good movie. Don't have me coming in there paying for a movie, and the movie, child, go watch it on Peacock. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. Go watch it on Peacock, and you can thank me later, cause I want Jordan and them to get some money. I think they got enough money this weekend. Matter of fact, Joyce, it was me, Joyce, my girlfriend, Van, the three of us went, and then it looked like it might have been maybe 15 other people in there. The theater wasn't full, which I was surprised, because when we got there, it was a long line. So I don't know what else was playing, but that movie theater wasn't full. The seats was good though; they was comfortable seats. I put my seat back a little bit and watched the movies and ate some popcorn and drank my water. But for the most part, it wasn't crowded. So I'm not sure what was playing this weekend, and the reason why so many people were in line, I don't know. Maybe we were just all spread out in different theaters. But anyway, that's my take and my review on Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls. Like I said, save your money and go and watch something else. We did see this sign with Idris Elba. He has a movie that's coming out. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could pull it up on here, because I think I want to go see that. I'm an Idris Elba fan, and it looked kind of like he looked like he was killing somebody, because he had a knife in his hand. I said, well, what is he doing? But he has a new movie coming out. It's called Idris Elba Beast. It's called Beast. I don't know what that's about though. Um, it's a suicide squad. Oh, let me read this and see what it's saying. Cause it said, and then so this matter of fact, this movie right here, um, Idris Elba's movie, it says it's going to be, after it's in the theaters, you'll be able to purchase it on Amazon, iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, and more. And see, that's the other thing. I really think after a while, um, it ain't gonna be no more movie theaters, because people ain't going to the movies no more. Because you can watch stuff on YouTube and all of that. It's like a waste of money. But anyway, this movie that he's in, it says, recently widowed Dr. Nate Daniels and his two teenage daughters traveled to a South African game reserve managed by Martin Battles, an old family friend and wildlife biologist. However, what begins as a journey of healing soon turns into a fearsome fight for survival when a lion. I ain't going to see that. I'm not going to see that. However, what begins as a journey of healing soon turns into a fearsome fight for survival when a lion, a survivor of bloodthirsty poachers, began stalking them. Okay, I'm not going to see that. And yeah, I ain't going to see that. I saw the picture. Oh, you're going to also be able to stream this movie on Peacock too. I ain't watching it on Peacock. I'm not watching it on. It don't even sound interesting. Idris Elba. It don't even sound good. So anyway, yeah, that was that movie, and it's another movie. Now I don't know what's going on. Maybe because of COVID, don't nobody want to act because he looked like he was in a movie by himself. Um, yeah, it says you can do online streaming with that. So y'all might want to watch that. It's called Beast. You might want to watch that. Cause that don't even sound interesting. And then it's another movie called that he's in called 3,000 Years of Longing. Idris Elba. Mm-mm. Can we have some Marvel comic movies? I'm a Marvel comic fan. Can we have some more Marvel comic? I think because of COVID, they haven't been able to really film, and and those actors don't want to be in there kissing and hugging on people, and you don't know. And then the monkey pox is out, and you don't know who got the monkey pox. I don't blame them. Can they probably want to do a Zoom video? Can we do video by Zoom? They probably want to do something like that instead of coming out acting, because they really they put their life and health on the line. You licking and kissing and swapping spit and all of that. No. So anyway, that's the new movie that's coming out. But some of y'all might like stuff like that. I don't want to see nothing like that. He sounded like he just gonna be out there with him and his children and some animals. Like I said, maybe they couldn't get a cast together because of COVID. But I can go to the zoo and see the animals myself. So no. And the killing out here in Baltimore streets, just putting the two together. I don't need to go see that at the movies. So anyway, I've been watching a lot of Lifetime. And that's another thing. Lifetime. Can y'all make some new movies, please? And always within the last 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes, they do everything in those 7 to 8 minutes, and then you see that they all had the same ending. That rainbow cloud at the end, and then they're off in the sunset, and everybody's having a great life. So I get sick of watching Lifetime. Whew, that's why I just watch clips now, YouTube clips and Instagram and TikTok. I just watch clips because the movies are just ridiculous right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because of COVID. But yeah. So anyway, back to Honk for Jesus Save Your Souls. If y'all want to go see that, go see it. But let me know if you like it. Like you can message me. Let me know what you think about the movie. Like I said, it is on Peacock. For those of you who have Peacock, I would suggest that you watch it on Peacock. But if you want to go to the movies, like to have a good time, hang out, like I did with my girlfriends this weekend, if you want to do something like that, it's a fun thing to do. Go eat, have fun, and go watch the movie that don't make no sense. But at least it's a discussion. It's a discussion piece. You can sit there and y'all can kind of throw stuff around about what you think it was like. Because even some of the people that I know that have seen it, I laugh every time they say, well, I think it was this and I think it was that. I'm like, well, I didn't get that from it. Like, so I think you'll walk away. Everybody, and that's what Jordan Peele does with his movies. You really walk away with a whole bunch of different ideas. Everybody has their own idea of what they think the movie is about. And I think that's the beauty of what he does. And I think that's great because everybody should have um, that's his knack. That's him. And so, like I said, when you mention Jordan Peele, you already know it's going to be weird. You already know. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. My name is Dr. Lady J. Make sure that you tune in the rest of this week. We got some good shows coming up. Joyce Butler has a show coming on tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The guy that's coming on, he's called the Prison Doctor. Now he ain't actually at the prison, being a doctor at the prison, but y'all will see who he is. So come on in and watch that. We got the other guys that come on at 8 o'clock, and all they talk about is guns, guns, and guns. I am not a gun person, a rifle person, none of that, but I do sit there and watch their shows because it's like really interesting. I learned what an AR-15 is because you hear about the AR-15 on the news all the time, but I don't know what it was. I didn't know what it looked like until they showed it on their show. So their show is good. You got Hustle Hard B More is coming on tomorrow. Jamal's show is they just hilarious because I'm telling you, they don't care if you like what they say or not. If they say it, they laugh, they cuss, they did. Y'all gotta watch the show. It's funny. John Hansberg's coming on this week, and you got Chad. Chad does a super chat, which is they talk about everything. And Mr. Ray, he's coming on this week. He is a retired. He's a veteran. I'm saying retired. He's a veteran. He's an elderly gentleman, and he's going to be coming on a Thursday. So it's just a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening this week, and make sure y'all stay tuned. On Saturdays, we have community church from 11 to 12:30. It ain't church as usual, like I tell everybody, and I'm not your normal chaplain. I actually get up and talk about stuff that they ain't talking about in the pulpit. So, you might want to come out and join us. And this is really dealing with all of us, myself and everybody that's out there dealing with issues, our mental health issues, things that we hold in that we just don't, we're afraid to share. We ain't afraid to share it at the community church. We talk about it. This past Saturday, we talked about domestic violence and the church and how the church is not addressing it. So we talk about everything. This week is going to be interesting. Talking about the people under the stairs. And you got to come out and see what I'm talking about when I say the people under the stairs. So anyway, y'all have a good night. It's 11:05. I've had a great day. Thank you, Miss Linda, if you're watching, for the beautiful event that happened today. It was beautiful. Thank you so much. The food was good. I ate too much. Miss Linda. That's your fault. I ate too much. But the food was good. Had a really great time. And then we're getting ready for the week. Getting ready for a good week. So y'all have a great night. Have a good night. Be blessed. Go enjoy. Enjoy. And like I said, the movie had its funny parts, but you tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about it. Okay? Because you may like it. You may really, really like it. And I liked it, but I'm giving it a, for me. It wasn't all of that for me, but I wouldn't go see it again. But I like Sterling K. Brown. Shout out to him. He was good. Um, Everybody was good that was in it. Regina Hall, good. Everybody was good that was in it. It just was a weird movie to me. All right, y'all. Have a good night. My name is Dr. Lady J. I'll talk to you soon. I got to go in here and get some work done. My days are never over. Enjoy yourself, everybody. Please be safe and don't try to make anybody else love you. You love on yourself and you be the best version of yourself. Love on you because you got a lot to offer and can't nobody take that away from you. All right, y'all. See you.